Welcome back, YouTube. J-Bob, the video game slob, coming at you here from a pile of packages that need to go out. We're heading to the post office now. Sorry for the lack of uploads. I had to travel for business for 4 days, and so that means the time before that, you're working really hard to make sure the house and the kids and everything is all in order. And then today you come back, you got a bunch of stuff to ship out, you got an antique mall to restock, and of course, my wife now wants a break because I've been gone. So a lot of stuff to do today. Trying to do a catch-up video. We'll head to the post office, get these out, get an update on that GOAT state sales figures, and show you some mail day stuff that's been coming into the house instead of going out. So all that and more. Stay tuned here. All right, welcome back. Part 2 of 3 here. We raided a comic book convention the day before I headed off for my work trip. And so, yeah, let's just go through some of the pickups we had from that. And we'll do mail days in another video. So these were, and I'm trying to do my best here, of memorizing all these things. These were 3, 4, 5, so a little under $2. I did not realize that Fortnite did a crossover with Marvel Comics, let alone that it was called Zero War. But there we go. So we picked that one up, issue 2 and issue 4 there. Nice Doom cover in the middle. I always like his look. Not a story I'm at all familiar with. And of course, then I just bought all that they had since they had only 3 of them. So I don't know if I'll go out and try to find number 1 of this or not. But every time, you think you've heard of most or every comic that had a video game tie-in, you find a new one, so add that to the collection. Some of these I may have before. I wasn't like going through and checking, but again, this was the same 3 for 5 guy, so we got the free comic book day Minecraft. Again, it always sucks to pay for these, but frankly, instead of spending my gas and time to go to free comic book day, I don't know that I mind. I don't think I had any representatives of the Street Fighter Masters comics. I have no idea what that line is, but we got that. And then the last one, the Pokemon I Choose You Viz Comics, also featuring Pokemon Adventures. It's really thick. I don't know if you can see that compared to the others. So I don't know. We'll check that out. Hopefully, good deals for $10. I don't know. There's a guy that shows up every single time that always has video game comics and other, video game related items. And so all I remember is we made a deal for like 81% is what the percentage ended up being of the cover price of everything. And so I'm not usually in the market of paying $10, which I would have paid, or $8.10 for a video game magazine, but the Simpsons cover is just too cool, and all too often the Game Players series had really terrible art, and so this one just had really great art. The condition isn't spectacular, but just early Simpsons always sort of does it for me. Even the power plant looking all crazy, Bart being Bart. I didn't mind. So, there we go. So yeah, I'm trying to do the math on this. What's this one? Like $16. And so I picked it up because it said controversial issue, Knuckles the Echidna number 22. And I don't know, nothing too controversial on there. So I had to ask the guy. I guess this got a lot of heat from it features some version or a page or a reference to Mein Kampf in there, and so that obviously became sort of a touch point or a lightning storm for that. So yeah, I guess that's the story behind that. So I figured, I don't know, something weird. I'll remember that as something different, and so a cool thing to have in the collection from the Sonic line there. Street Fighter 4 number 1. But yeah, I didn't have the number 1 and I don't think I had any in the Street Fighter 4, so that was really cool. I was trying to pick up Sonics. I finally decided, okay, I'll spend $6, $5 an issue for the early Sonics, because I got a lot of them graded. And they are tough to find. I just don't find them any other place. So the first dealer had them. I asked around a couple other places. 2 other dealers said that they had some, and that they had sold out. Some guy had come through and bought them all. So Apparently, I was not the only one looking for the early Sonic. So number 86, for I guess $5 or something like that. Not, too bad a deal. It's just that shipping these things and buying collections online just really is pretty not feasible. I think I probably bought this one last year, but I always say, regardless of the price, I always just sort of buy it because it has the Saturn on front with the games, with the controller, just some really cool, artwork, and it's got tails on it and everything. So I don't know, $8. I really don't mind paying that. Oh, geez, what did I pay on these? I don't know. I think I got like $2 off a piece or something like that. I don't know, something in that run there. I have no idea what the 524 means. Maybe it was $4, $3, something like that. But just sort of a really great Tomb Raider cover for some obvious reasons. Nice, even insert there. So I don't know, didn't have it. Same reason here. Again, I have so many different Tomb Raider comics. I'm not really trying to get them all. And of course, there's so many split outs and things like that. But yeah, just sort of a great classic what Tomb Raider was supposed to be. Same thing here. I mean, it's a Tomb Raider, first appearance in her own standalone comic. So again, for like $5, every time I see a, Uzi toting Lara Croft, we're going to go ahead and pick that up. So that was pretty easy. And then this was the only Sonic that guy had. So this was the last from that deal. Local vendor, he said. But yeah, really just some great poses, great characters on the front. And so, and it was still technically the Archie, but it's the Sonic X. And so, whatever. We'll pick that up. This was the 80% off guy. So again, do the math, like $4 for the first Halo, the Halo Uprising. Pretty cool. And so then he had a lower condition book. Same thing, 1 of 4 in that. So you just don't see the Halo comics out, and again, just buying them as lots and shipping, you just can't get them that cheap. Another fairly early Sonic, sub 100, where it was still sort of that hand-drawn-ish sort of look to it. I don't know, it's probably not the right word, but yeah, here you go. This is like what the modern Sonics look like. These were half cover price. So I'd have to even look at what cover was. That was like $4, and it probably just went straight into being bagged and boarded, from 2024. Again, cover B was $12. So these were $2. I mean, again, you're getting them cheaper than you would even have gotten them from the newsstand. So we had 2 copies of that. So for $2 each, I guess he had 3 copies of that. So whatever, $2 each. We grabbed those. This was the Witchblade Tomb Raider #1, not to be confused with Tomb Raider Witchblade, where they flip it, or the Tomb Raider standalone comic. I know. But just always like the way that Lara Croft was, pictured in the background there. Just, I don't know, pretty cool. So we grabbed that. This was a $2 comic bin. We grabbed a whole stack of $2 comics and asked the guy if he would come down on price at all, and he said no. So I said, okay, I'll still take up Plants vs. Zombies for $2. I've never read anything in that series, so for $2, we'll take a look at that. I have a number of the, I think, Horizon Zero Dawn #1s or something like that. But now that, like, Horizon's doing Lego crossovers and all this kind of stuff, I figured it'd be pretty good to add to that. And my buddy saw this, and this fell into another one I did not know I had to have, or that it exists out there. And of course, this is #2. So now I have to go find Fruit Ninja #1. Why? I don't know. You think having one example would be enough? There you go, another $2 bin comic or something like that. And then these were $5 each, and I think we negotiated down to like 4 each. I don't think it got any lower than that, but yeah, it was like 4 each. And so for a 12-cent comic, these are not video game comics, of course. I don't know. He's just such a cool looking cloud monster. So what are you going to do? A 12-cent comic for $4, I picked that up. He-Man Masters of the Universe, the Star Comics line that included the Meteorbs, #2, really great pose there. Great color, good pop on it.
So for $4, that was pretty easy buy. Again, it sells for more than that online. Not that I'd probably ever get it. Just a cheap $2 Futurama comic in good condition. You don't say no to those. Back to the $4 comics, Anthro. Guy just chilling while the two women fight. The Marriage of Anthro. And then another great one where it's just, a woman throwing him to his pit in the death, and really great female archers in the background there. So, 12-cent comics. I'm just such a sucker for. And again, 12-cent, $4 comics. They got the DC Go-Go check up top. Tomahawk had some really crazy covers, and here's one. The crazy monster peering at you from beyond the cage, the dungeon, and so, uselessly trying to use their guns to shoot it. And so, there you go. So, mostly video game comics, a few crazy things like that. But there you go. We'll get you right here in a second with the catch-up on our weekly sales for the GOAT video game collection. In the meantime, hit me up in the comments. Are any of these some comics you would just have to have in your collection? All right, we're back looking at what sold this week at the Antique Mall to close out the video. And so, here we go. Taking a look at some things. Rocksmith, another weird, great game to sell. We got the Zelda Majora's Mask, which is really good. That came out of that collection I paid about $250 for, so that'll help get some of that back. Those stupid birdhouses I've been putting up there, finally selling, which is great. The quicker I can get that junk out of there, the better. I took up another 3 today. I think I'm close to the end, so that's really great. I have, I think, 3 or 4 PS1s in back stock, so to sell another one of those was great. I took another one of those up there today, so that's spot is already filled. I do love the way that they sometimes spell things, and Mortal Kombat is definitely up there on the all-time great titles that they've given things. Went ahead and sold that Zelda Ocarina from that same collection, so I'm a little over 100 back on that, so 150 to go, which hopefully won't be too big of an issue. Given that we still have a lot of those boxed games, but that's definitely going to be tough to move those. I have no idea what Vest tin was. I'm not selling any tins. I'm not selling any vests. I put it in as Harvest Moon because I do have Harvest Moons that I haven't sold. I don't know, but your idea is as good as mine on that. But they did nail the spelling on Jackass, the game. Sonic was the only game from the estate sale that sold this week, so that's not super great, but we'll get to the numbers here in a bit. But as always, being in there a lot lately, having a ton of fresh games and moving everything around is helping me sell games like Agent Under Fire and Monopoly on the Wii, and such a great spelling of Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. But somebody came through and rated some good Mario games because they got Mario Power Tennis for $19 as well. That was another one of the games that I was kind of power buying, no pun intended, back when they were cheap. So I think I still have 5 or 6 of those in back stock. And it was funny, a friend of mine texted that his kid came in and bought the 2DS from me. So that helped put that purchase into the positive, into the profit with that. So glad to have that sold. So here you can tell it is the 13th of the month, and we are $1,240 in sales. So it's still kind of on track for $100 a day, a little under. Hopefully we'll get $60 in sales today, especially since I restocked, and it's Thursday, so that tends to help. But again, it is fairly unsustainable to sell $100 every day for every month as it has been. They say the economy is getting a little worse, that inflation is getting a little worse. All those things may be true, but it still seems that things are going well, at least for me and locally and for the used games. I still contend that if inflation continues to go up, all these games are not going to change price. All these Marios will still be 20 and less, and I have hordes and hordes of PS2 games that I'm not going to increase the price on. So relative to other goods, this stuff just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper. But to give you the total here for the GOAT estate sale, we had some good eBay sales over the period that I was actually gone for 4 days. So we are at $4,851.48. Still well short of the like $8,000 that I spent on everything. But again, another week where we topped like $340, like almost $350 in sales on a week where I was gone for 4 days, and I still haven't listed anything for the past 3, maybe 4 weeks. It has been a while since I got new stock up, and I haven't adjusted any of the prices down for the stock that I do have out there, which I probably need to do to start encouraging sales more. So I do need to get into that. I do need to manage that. Still a ton of stuff in the showcases to sell through the Antique Mall. But yeah, even again, I know I keep saying it, but even at like $350 a week, it barely puts a dent in it. And I don't think I was prepared for just how many hours and how much work it's going to take to get all of this moved and, start to work to get to my money back. So we're going to try to do that in this upcoming week. Thank you, YouTube, for hanging out. We'll touch base with you soon.